Hey, I'm Steve Volkers with Steve Volkers Group in Grand Rapids, Michigan, small local brokerage, and we are going to start just talking monthly about market data. So I use a lot of market data when I'm talking at listing appointments, buyer appointments, and just within our brokerage with our agents. And so Kev, our marketing guru, is starting to throw together this real estate market data package. You can get all the data online, and Kevin will probably throw up a link. But what we're going to do is just drop this once a month with the newest data, and then I'm just going to do my overview of what I think is happening within the market, right? So I wanted just to dive right in today on some of these graphs that I find interesting and give you sort of the overview. I am old, so at some point I'm going to remove my glasses like this up there so I can read. So I should probably get bifocals or something, Kev. I don't know. But anyways, market data. Let's talk about lack of inventory, which has been the conversation altogether. And the graphs are just phenomenal to show that situation. So this year alone, just January and February's data, we are basically 200 units less closed in February than we were last year. So last year we closed 711 units within our association, and this year we've only sold 516 units. That's a significant amount of unit loss. But the next one is year-to-date closed transactions, which Kev has got here broke down since 2018. And what we actually see is that trend started 4 months ago. So October of last year, 2021, we were down 140 units. Then November, we were down 211 units. Then at the end of the year last year, we were 400 units off. All of those came in those last 3 months, and now we're seeing that in January and February. So we're 5 months in this pattern of being 100 to 200 units off of traditional sales within the MLS, which everybody is feeling that pinch, right? When you're showing, one of the graphs that I always find is fascinating that Kevin keeps on bringing up with me is the amount of showings per listing, right? So when you have less listings, then everybody is looking at no matter what it is out there because there's so few to look at. So we're way up on showings. Some of that I think is just the way that agents are now interacting with the market, where they're listing on Wednesday or Thursday and no offers due till Monday or Tuesday to allow the buyer pool to have time to look at it, maybe do a pre-inspection, whatever, so that we're getting a little bit more showing activity than we traditionally would years ago, where it'd be 4 or 5 showings and then an offer would come in, or 8 showings and an offer would come in. Or we would always say, a number of years ago, well, if you've got 10 showings and no one's seen it, now it's time to adjust price down, right? Can you remember the last time we talked as agents about adjusting the price down based on the no activity? Very rarely is that occurring. So just the data will drop. I think it's just really fascinating. Obviously, year-to-date volume of last year's volume is way up, but we are now seeing volume and units combined being down. So last year we were up a couple hundred thousand, or a couple million actually. We were up, about 4 million from the year previous, but we are well off of it now for February. So we are down about that 4 million mark now for February. So if we're going to have volume and units get anywhere close to next year, there's going to have to be a pretty big race forward. The issue with the race that you're going to see is that supply issue is, my gut tells me, and I use my gut quite a bit, is because of new construction. So basically, if you don't remember, last May, we had a spike in lumber cost, right? A supply issue with OSB. All of a sudden, you're spending way too much money on lumber, right? And it just stalled new construction. Some of the bigger builders could keep building because they had contracts that last them a year or 2 years on their lumber costs. But the guy who's building 5 units or 10 or a little subdivision or a new condo project or whatever, those got stalled because all of a sudden their lumber that they originally put in their pro forma of being X grew by 40%, and no longer could they build that unit anymore. So that inventory My gut tells me some of this inventory shortage is based on new construction. So we're not seeing the new construction because last May, if you go May to October of this last year, you're 6 months, and new construction's in a 6-month lag. It takes 6 months to put a footing in the ground to have somebody move into it. That's on the fast. You do a 6-month build. So 6 months happened, and now then the shortage started happening for the last 5 months, right? Prices did come down. Now they're right back up to where they almost were last year, starting to increase to that amount. So we could have that same issue. So supply and demand, my gut tells me it's always been an issue the last 5 years. New construction is where it really hurt us. So with not new construction builds, then we don't have that move up market, right? So that new construction is typically the 500 and above in West Michigan price point, or there's some maybe in the outskirts areas, Wayland, Door, Sparta, that would be in the 300s. That stuff's all $50,000 more if it even got built. So with lack of new construction, then that move up buyer that's moving from a small city house or their starter house trying to move to that next level, or someone that's trying to move out of their starter house or their nicer house down into a new build condo cannot find that inventory, which has just got everyone stuck. Not including also the interest rate conversation that's happened over the last month, where now not only can they not find the supply is more expensive because of interest rates, and they've already locked in a very low interest rate at 2.5% or 3% on their fixed income if they're starting to retire, and then to move doesn't really financially make sense. So we're kind of in the supply-demand thing that I don't think is going to change for the next couple of years, but it definitely be interesting over the next couple months to see do builders have inventory that they're going to start releasing, and in releasing that, will that start helping the data and open up the market, or are we going to be struggling in this low units for a very long time? So that's my thoughts. Feel free to give me yours in the comments below. We'll dump this on all the social media channels, but feel free to find it at stevevolkersgroup.com. And Kev will have a little spot for you to get this downloaded material right to you. We're going to have a little email blast, right, Kev, that if you want to sign up for the email and just get this data each month, we can drop it right to you. So thanks so much. I'm Steve Volkers. I know it's long-winded, but I hope the information's of value to you. Have a good day.